I think this year's APEC meeting will be important simply because it is a continuity from the different themes that have already been talked about last year. And this goes with the themes, which is interconnectivity, inclusion, and at the same time to think about innovation. I think given how the world is at the moment, thinking about these themes and how to create integration between this region or among the countries of the region has become really important. And to talk about integration, to talk about digitalization, to talk about trade and investment, again, those are things that have already been put forward, and I think that this is one way to start continuing the conversation from the past. Given the different crises that the world has experienced and continue experiencing, and then thinking about how some countries have become more protectionist in so many ways, I think that's something that the Asia-Pacific region, particularly Asian countries, for instance, can contribute in terms of helping and supporting the idea of strengthening the supply chain. I think that has been disrupted in many ways and has affected not only this part of the region, but the world in general. Helping the world think more about climate change and how these different economies can make use of their cooperative initiatives to think about how they can make use of their different agencies, right, through APEC and through all these different meetings that are happening right now. I think that having a voice in that regard would be very helpful. The theme this year is to create a resilient and sustainable future for everyone. And I think that part of that encompasses interconnectedness or integration. It encompasses greater inclusivity, it encompasses innovation also. So from there is where you start seeing this conversation about sustainability, about green growth, green trade, think about the inclusion of women and other voices, and I think that the themes this year actually represent that and continue that, and hopefully leaders will be able to open the conversation and have fruitful and productive discussion on how to continue achieving these goals. I think when I was thinking about the conversation in regards to integration, the conversation about interconnectivity, it is really important that the different groups that before, for instance, for APEC, would not be added, like women, local communities and whatnot. And I think that the idea that they are now part of the conversation is really important. So this doesn't stay only at the top level, because at the end of the day, when we're talking about sustainable development, when we're talking about integration, it's really key to have these other voices. And I think that year after year, we are actually seeing more interested in it. And not only that, to think about also the small and medium enterprises and how they can also contribute. I think the challenge this year will be how we can move from the rhetoric, right, from these, I guess, high-level discussions into actually practical and doable actions. I think it will be a challenge simply because of how the world it is at the moment, but I think that if there is consensus and they can really come up with an action plan that would respond to the very theme that the host this year has put forth, which is precisely into create resilient and sustainable environment for everyone, not only for specific businesses, but for all groups that are part of our economies.